Hello and welcome back to the Seven Sisters. I'm Ethereal Adam, and today we're going to talk about the infamous Black Triangle. On June 20th, 2013, I recorded the infamous Black Triangle flying over my neighborhood in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Check it out. Let's take a look at that video again. I'm going to pause it right here. You can see that it has a triangle shape or a backwards L shape. The blinking red light is unusually large. It's at the base. Now this is flying as a vertical L, straight up and down across the sky from the left to the right. That's very unusual that it is flying vertically. Okay, now we're in 10% slow motion. Okay, pay attention to the way that it moves, and in the video, it's making no sound. The microphone sensitivity on the camera can be compared to the dog barking in the background. That dog is very loud. This is making absolutely no noise, guys, okay? As close as this is to us, it should be screaming through the neighborhood. We should hear something. We hear nothing. And that is probably one of the most scary parts about this experience that I had. As I was watching it, I was very confused as to why there was no sound and it was as close as it was. Now, I'm using a handheld Sony digital camera. I'm not using a tripod. The closer I zoom in on it, the harder it is to hold in the frame. So I zoom back out, but then I lose detail, but I keep it in the frame. So I'm doing my best to get a good view of what this is. As you can see, it maintains that boomerang shape, and it is flying from the left of the screen to the right of the screen. Very odd. It has a purplish blinking light at the top that goes off every now and then. And the red light at the bottom, like I said, is unusually large for an airplane. At first glance, it looks kind of like an airplane, but when you really examine it closely, it's just very odd. And towards the end of the video, it is going to put on some different lights. It looks like it changes shape. We've been seeing the boomerang shape, the backwards L pattern. You could call it a triangle. It does look triangular. But right here in the end of the video, we see a different shape there. A Y almost. Look at that. That is just very odd. There it is again. Black triangle. What do you think that is? No sound at all. So that was the infamous Black Triangle. But could it have been an airplane? Well, let's compare it to an airplane and see what we think.
Just to say I'm doing it, there's an airplane. That is an airplane. Airplane.
Keep in mind that I use the same camera to record the black triangle and the commercial airplane. This is the Seven Sisters, and I am Ethereal Adam. Now, what is the Seven Sisters exactly? Well, it's an ongoing YouTube show where I'm proving to you that I have had an ongoing relationship with the intelligence that controls a group of UFOs known as the Foo Fighters. Basically, I stood out in my backyard between 2013 to 2015 for between 2 and 3 nights a week for 30 minutes to 2 hours a night with a video camera. And the Foo Fighters would fly over my neighborhood, show me extraordinary things that they could do, and allow me to record them. So the proof that I have been interacting with them for so long is the dates on the videos. Now, in episode 1, I talked about the Foo Fighters. I played you a video from March 26, 2013, showing a UFO, a Foo Fighter, buzzing the tail of a commercial airplane. Then I showed you a Foo Fighter on April 4th, 2013. Then I showed you a Foo Fighter on April 30th, 2013. The black triangle that I just showed you is from June 20th, 2013. So you can start to see that every week or two I'm recording an extraordinary UFO. In fact, the next video that I'm going to play you happened 2 days after I recorded the black triangle on June 22nd, 2013. Take a look. Okay, south side of Oklahoma City, once again in my backyard. This object is in the western part of the sky. I want you to notice that it is a cloudy day and there are no stars or planets visible. In fact, the clouds are behind this object. I believe it's in our atmosphere. I did do a check, and Venus is supposed to be in this part of the sky, and it's supposed to be bright, but I don't think we're looking at Venus with clouds behind it. It's a windy day, and this is 2 days after I filmed the black triangle. One thing that I found very interesting was I'm going to zoom in on this at 10% speed. And when we get up close, I'm going to freeze the frame. And right about here, you see it is a ball of light, and you can see, if you look very closely, there are little balls, specks of light all around it. And this is a characteristic of a gravity distortion that the Foo Fighters display. So because of this gravity distortion and the clouds, I am compelled to think that this is a UFO hovering. So this is June 22nd, 2013, and later in the day, approximately 8:59 p.m., this happened.
Okay, this is beautiful. This is a UFO flying over my backyard. You can see it moving. You can see the star in the background. See on the right? That's the UFO. It's beautiful. It's quiet. It's not making any noise. It came out of nowhere. I've been sitting in the backyard for only about 30 minutes. And it's finally here. I zoomed out a little bit. There's not anything for reference, but that's it. And there's no sound. They've been flying over in the paths of the tornadoes that we had, but they were flying that route of the tornado before we had the tornado. So they knew the path of the tornado before it came. Just a ball of light in the sky, moving soundlessly. Till it'll slowly fade out, but I'll zoom in. Let's zoom in. And it's gone. There's a house. It was over that house. There's the moon. Tonight, the moon is closest to the Earth than it is all year. Actually, it will be closest to the Earth at 7:23 tomorrow morning.
Okay, in the last video, you noticed that the Foo Fighter has come closer to me than any of the ones prior. The first video that I recorded from episode 1 was March 26, 2013. This last video was June 22nd, 2013. It's come closer than any of the other ones, and this is showing that over time they're beginning to notice me, documenting them, and they're starting to fly close over my house. Now, if there's any of you out there that still question whether it could be a drone or maybe even an airplane, subscribe to my channel and I'm going to prove that these could not be drones or airplanes, because over time they do get closer and closer, and they finally peak by coming within about 20 foot of me, but I have a good video of them about 100 to 300 foot above my house. They have a very silver bright light with a purple ring around it. You're going to love that video. So real quick, I want to talk about the black triangle. Now, what am I claiming? I'm claiming that from 2013 till now, I have had an ongoing relationship with the intelligence that controls a group of UFOs known as the Foo Fighters. Okay, so the black triangle is a UFO, and I happen to catch it flying over my neighborhood, but I haven't had an ongoing relationship with the black triangle, just the Foo Fighters, and they have the appearance as balls of white light. So in this next video, I recorded it on July 26, 2013. There's lots of references, fixed points, objects in the background for you to compare it to see the speed and the trajectory. Enjoy.
Oh yeah, there it is. There it goes. I got it. It's flying by there. It's July 26, 2013. And it's approximately 9:30 at night. This is a UFO that came from straight above. It's flying to the east. It's Friday evening. It's only been dark for about 30 minutes. And I'm surprised I caught it. I'm zooming in now as it's fading out. And it's gone.
So let's take a look at that video again. Did you happen to notice the orb that appears and disappears as it buzzes the UFO? Well, probably not, because the human eye has a hard time picking them up. Look at the bottom of the screen. There's an orb that just appeared. Now it disappeared. It's very faint, but it's going to appear again. There it is. Now it disappeared. Now it disappeared. It's moving up. It's going to buzz the UFO. You'll see it appearing and disappearing as it moves. There it is again. And right when it gets just below the UFO, I'm going to freeze frame it as it appears very bright. There it is right there. No doubt about it. That's an orb, and it is heading for the UFO. Okay, right about here, it is buzzing the UFO. Under it, behind it, whatever you want to think. Right there, something flashed at the top of the screen. Up and to the left, there's the orb appearing very faint in freeze frame. We're in 3% slow motion, but I still have to freeze frame it. That's how fast they're popping in and out. There it is right there, very faint. Up and to the left, it buzzed the UFO, and there it is. You're going to see it moving up and to the left, popping in and out. And somewhere right about here, it is going to leave the top of the screen. So I first noticed orbs when it was around 2013. I was recording the police helicopter flying over my neighborhood, and with my eyes I did see an orb pop in and out under the police helicopter. I took my footage and I played it in slow motion. And that's when I realized that orbs are flying around our neighborhoods. They're fast. They move so fast, and they pop in and out that the human eye has a hard time seeing them. And certainly the Foo Fighters are associated with orbs. There are orbs that pop in and out around these unidentified flying objects. Well, that concludes episode 2, The Black Triangle, here on the Seven Sisters. In the next episode, I'm going to be displaying the 6 characteristics that the Foo Fighters display that set them apart from other UFOs, which are: they have the appearance as a ball of light, they're silent when they move, they have the ability to energize, they can cloak themselves, making themselves invisible to the human eye, and they bounce back and forth off of gravity when they move. And when they come within about 100 to 300 feet of you, they have a purple hue around them. I am Ethereal Adam, and as always, if I didn't have the videos, I wouldn't tell you about it.